Would you consider yourself a positive person? I have the honor and the privilege of working with many individuals on really calibrating their vision so they can step into a life that they love. And throughout that process, there's something that I've noticed that I want to share with you today to really help you accelerate your results so that you can step into a life that you love. One of the things that I do with my clients in the beginning of our work together is have them write their vision in a very specific way. And then we calibrate that vision to make sure that it's written in the most powerful way possible. One of the things that I've noticed when doing those vision calibrations is the habit of writing what we don't want instead of what we do want. It's amazing how easy it is. So let me give you some examples. I don't want any more back pain. I'm no longer on medication. I'm not alone anymore. I'm no longer depressed. There's no more chaos in my life. I'm no longer living in the cold Alberta winters. My encouragement to you is to begin to notice when you're actually saying no to something instead of saying yes to something. So instead of focusing on what you don't want to create, make sure that you're turning that around into what you do want. So if you don't want any more chronic pain, is it greater freedom and ease and movement and flexibility, more energy, more clarity? What is it that you're creating? And notice in your day-to-day life how many times you're actually saying no or what you don't want instead of saying yes. Think of times where we say to kids, don't run with your mouth full, don't be late, we don't want to have a messy house. And we're talking about what it is that we don't want to experience. And remember that wherever our attention is, that's where the energy flows, and that's what we're creating. One of the common ways that we do this as well is in a journaling practice, where we're writing down everything that we don't like in our life and we're giving it more energy instead of writing what it is that you do want to create, what it is that you do want to experience. So if you have a journaling practice, journaling is so powerful to really move energy, to get your thoughts onto paper. But notice, are you journaling everything that you don't want in your life and all of the negative and everything that you want to change? Well, that's a fine practice to really move the energy, to get it out of your mind onto the paper. Make sure that you're taking the additional step and saying, well, if it wasn't like this, what would it be? And really describing what it is that you would love, that result that you're creating. Not focusing on what you're moving away from, but what you're moving towards. So what we're really talking about here is learning to say yes. How can I say this in a way that feels good, feels expansive, versus saying no and what I don't want? So noticing what you're noticing this week, really tune into where you're talking about what you don't want and interrupt that and replace that with what it is that you are creating. Have fun with it, experiment with it. And as you really begin to pour more energy on what it is that you want to create, the universe will say yes and yes and yes back to that and support you in really moving in that direction. If this served you, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and here is to your success.